Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Blacktown DB's Look Who's Next. Of course, you guys know I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miss Simone Jackson. Always here to bring you guys another great episode of Look Who's Next. For those of you guys who don't know, Look Who's Next is a great podcast where we have great conversation with engaging people, engaging people in the entertainment industry. So I'm really excited about our next guest for today. He is a he is an ambassador of Hip Hop DX. He is a host. He's a writer. He's a producer. He produced Breakdown, a really great show on YouTube. If you guys haven't checked that out, definitely make sure you guys check it out. He has a really long, extensive, great list, but we're really excited to be talking with him today. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Justin Hunte. Hi, Justin.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. Thank you for being on here today. We really appreciate you being on here. Like I said, busy man. We've been checking out your guys' stuff. You're checking out your stuff for a while now, so we definitely wanted to have you on this show. So we appreciate you having you on here. So if it's all right with you, Mr. Justin, I'm gonna fire the first question at you.
Sure.
What began your passion for writing and directing?
It was kind of a natural progression on its own. I started my career working in investment banking, and I was a fan of a rapper named Lupe Fiasco who came out around that time. And I started sending emails to my friends, and it was called Lupe Fiasco's Daily Quotable, and just talking about how dope he was. And one of my friends was like, yo, you should start a blog. And I was like, blogs are played out. This is like '06. I didn't know what I was talking about. And so she went as far as to take the emails, and she was like, no, you can save your emails in a blog. So now everybody can come see them. And so she actually did that. And I was like, wow, this is actually cool. I started my own blog maybe later that week. And through that, I fell in love with writing about rap music and contextualizing, my thoughts on the music and the culture. So a few years later in 2009, I decided to quit banking and just see if I can make it writing about rap music on my own. And I ran around New York City for 3 years, ended up hosting a couple of radio shows, hosting and producing, events on the East Coast, and freelance for a few places, emphasis on free. And then I got the opportunity to become editor-in-chief of Hip Hop DX, and that's how I decided to move to Los Angeles, which is what brought me out here. And around that time, that's 2013, let's say. So now video is becoming a real priority for everybody, and we needed to start a video platform or video programming. And so that was one of my first missions as editor-in-chief. So I started the Hip Hop DX YouTube platform and their content, created the breakdown through that. And then I left in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I left DX, and is that right? Yeah, 2017. I left DX, started my own YouTube channel, partnered with Ambrosia for Heads, and started working with Empire, the record label, and doing content for them as well now. So it's been a winding road over the past 10 years, I guess now.
Absolutely. Oh, that sounds awesome, though. Very inspiring. That you mentioned the breakdown goes into my next question. The breakdown on YouTube is a huge successful hit. What began your inspiration for it? What was the big inspiration for breakdown?
It's funny, we had a daily news show we were doing called DX Daily, and we weren't getting any views at all. It was it's like a daily news show, had 3 blocks. We covered 3 different stories.
Mm-hmm.
And one day Jay-Z gets in a fight with Solange in an elevator. So instead of doing our normal show with 3 different stories that day, I decided that, we're just going to do the whole thing on this one story. And it got more views than any video we made at that time. It got 1,000 views. We were excited, it's 1,000 views. So we got 1,000 views. And so, after that, it was like, okay, well, this is what we'll do. Every Friday, we'll figure out a way to break the daily. So whatever we do on our daily news show, we're going to do something totally different on Fridays. And, we had some hit or miss episodes there for the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Everything came together in 2015 2016 with an episode called Tupac and De La Soul's Forgotten Rap Beef. And that was the first time we did an episode that wasn't based on some news cycle. It was completely evergreen. We had 100% original sourcing on there, and it just blew up in a way that no video that we had produced before that had. So we just took it from there. So the inspiration is more or less like, I'm a big fan of Rachel Maddow, and so like a block for the Rachel Maddow show is 10 to 20 minutes long. And this is a point in time when everyone said, hey, you need to make your videos shorter. And I was like, well, I see people on the treadmill watching Netflix, so I feel like if it's dope, people will watch it. And I watched Rachel Maddow all the time, and there wasn't anything like that in hip-hop or in the media space for music. And that's kind of how it came together.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Awesome. This goes into my next question. What was everyone's reaction to the breakdown when it first premiered?
I mean, in the beginning, nobody liked it. Like the first one that we really caught a lot of love on was that Tupac versus De La Soul one. Right? We had some ones that were, more successful than other ones prior to that. But, we had been making them for probably about 2 years before that. So before the Tupac De La Soul episode, which was, I don't know, let's say it was July 2016, August 2016. And from a fan standpoint, the few fans we had, they really liked it, which was cool. But it didn't really get a lot of support internally. Like, no one really liked it in the office. Like a lot of like the people in the office wouldn't watch it. Everyone was saying, hey, your video's got to be shorter. And I just didn't agree with it at all. And so me, James Kreisberg, and Ahmed Sabir Calloway, that was the video team. And so we just, every week we did the stuff that we wanted to do, and we found our own voice, and so it worked out. So I guess the initial reaction was like, it was kind of like tepid and sporadic. And it became a challenge, I think, for the organization initially to embrace it, because it went contrary to what common knowledge was at the time, right? Like YouTube would promote shorter videos. It was advantageous for you to make short videos and get a lot of views. Now YouTube, you need to make longer videos now in order to really monetize. So we were ahead of the curve, ironically. But I think once we moved it to a place where we weren't just talking about what was happening in the news every week, that's when we really found an audience that appreciated it, because we're sitting here talking about how do you beat Drake in a rap beef, or the rise and fall of DMX, or the hypocrisy of the MF Doom fan, and none of these things have anything to do with the news cycle. So it was great to get to that point.
Yeah, it just seems like once you guys found your niche, and once people saw that you were comfortable, that's when their reactions seemed to turn around. So I can definitely see that. But I have to say, Justin, what would you say is the most difficult part of being both a writer and a director?
I think the most challenging part, I would say, is just the amount of time that it takes to do both. So, when you're writing, I'm not a trained writer. I have a finance background. And so the writing I was doing before that was journalistic. It was editorials, it was news, it was album reviews. And there was definitely color, and there was definitely, to some degree, narration. I was definitely painting a picture with my words, but actually converting that to what needs to be shown at the same time, it was an adjustment period for me. And it also, part of that challenge was realizing when I could use less words because the visual would do the work for me. Um, Figuring out, okay, which part of, the writing side, the script side, where do I slow my tone down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I pick my tone up, and then finding the right way to match that visually for me was the biggest challenge because, the directing side, the production side, the editing side came much later for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of what I learned from James and Ock, the guys who were there when we started doing the breakdown, because they had they're shooters and editors, and so and Michael Hogan Miller too. Like those are three people who were influential in helping me be able
Mm-hmm.
to understand how to merge, what it is I'm saying with what it is I want to show.
Right. Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah. That really kind of connects to my next question. With the huge success of Breakdown, I'm very interested. Is there any other future projects you're involved with that you can dish about to Black Talent TV?
Yeah, actually, I have a few of them. One of them is the extended version of what the breakdown is. So the one
Mm-hmm.
is called "It's All Happening," and it's 30 minutes to 42 minutes per episode, and there's 8 episodes, and so we're about to wrap up negotiations or contract discussions with a major digital distributor. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, there's also 2 documentaries that I've been working on quietly that are getting closer to being finished, which is exciting as well. And I'll leave it there for right now.
I completely understand. I completely understand. Don't want to give too much away. I can appreciate the mystique, the mysteriousness. Definitely
Right.
appreciate that.
But
Um,
here's another. I have another series that I do with Empire. It's called "How I Built My Empire," and it's an aspirational series where we look at artists who have accomplished something at any level, and get them to give the cheat codes to their success. It's targeted at people who are looking to craft something extraordinary. And the beauty of the series is that it's about you don't have to actually have quote unquote an empire to discuss how you built your empire, right? Like every day you take a step, you're farther along than the day before. And every day you wake up and you continue to put your passion and push towards whatever your ultimate goals are, you
mhm.
learn something new. And so it's a great mix of having icons and legends and new artists on the rise who are talking about, life, their career, their art, and their industry um, from their point of view. So you can check that out now on Empire Distribution on their YouTube channel. That's there. And also, I'm with Ambrosia for Heads, and we have a streaming platform that'll be launching here in the next 2 weeks. So Ambrosia for Heads, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. It's the #1 hip hop news website now. So, and it's run by Reggie Williams, who's his background, he was a VP at Viacom, MTV, BT Networks, and the editor-in-chief is Jake Payne, who was my mentor at Hip Hop DX, which is how I got over there to start writing for them. And so what we've done is we've aggregated or we've partnered with a lot of the content creators that we respect in the space, and we've licensed their content. The breakdown will be one of the things. TBD will be offered through that as well, along with some of our newer ideas. And for 99 cents a month, you get access to top flight content creators throughout music and sports.
Oh wow, Black Talent TV. I told you this man's busy. I wasn't lying about that. So I definitely highly encourage you guys to check out everything he's got going on. But in order to do that, Mr. Justin, can you tell us where can the Black Talent TV family go to make sure they can follow you and your work?
Sure, you can follow me at the Company Man on everything. So just the Company Man, just exactly how it sounds. Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, etc. Also, come check out the YouTube channel, The Company Man. Check out Empire's YouTube channel as well, and Ambrosia for Heads. And then I'm also on Shade 45 every Tuesday on the All Out Show with Rude Jude. So if you're in your whip, you got Sirius XM, turn to channel 45 at 1 p.m. PST. You'll be all good.
Yes, I encourage everyone here at Black Talent TV Family. Make sure you guys check him out on all his platforms. And go ahead, make sure you check out Empire Records and just all Empire. I'm sorry. Just make sure you guys check out all that kind of stuff. Just to make sure you're checking out all the many contents this man's coming out with and getting in contact with. Sounds like it's brilliant stuff. So make sure you guys definitely follow him and check that out. Justin, with all of that going on for you, which is all incredible, where do you hope what goals do you hope to reach in your career?
I've always, looked at my dad's an engineer, my mom's a teacher, so my dad like builds stuff, my mom explains stuff. And so I've always had a series of dream jobs. And it's not just one goal that I've had. I've had like 10 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Working in investment banking was one of them, so I've done that. Writing about rap music for a living, that was one. Being editor in chief of a large hip hop publication, that was one. Then creating a really great show. I think I'm in the process of that right now. Hosting the Grammys has always been one of my goals. I think I hosted my first Grammy event last year. It was hosting a panel on addiction and mental illness in hip hop. So step by step, it's all happening. And my ultimate goal has always been to be a U.S. senator, for the same reasons I wanted to go into banking. Because when you look at investment banking, when it's not done maliciously, when it's done with good intentions, it raises a lot of money for really great ideas. The media, when it's not done maliciously, when it's done with good intentions, it highlights issues that are important that deserve more attention. And the same thing with politics. When it's not done maliciously, when it's done with good intention, it actually crafts policy that make people's lives better, which is the one thing I've dedicated everything that I've done so far to. Doing everything I can to some way make people enjoy life just a little bit more, right? Like we're in the media, right? I write about rap music, right? So you have a podcast, right? So everything that we do,
Mm-hmm.
our work is their leisure, right? So we literally just create stuff, and hopefully it's interesting enough to find a group of people, a pocket of people who will just feel a little bit better about life after they hang with us. And so, as long as I'm doing that, then I'm happy.
That is amazing goals to aspire to. Hosting the Grammys, being a U.S. senator, definitely seems like you have a clear direction and goal in mind. And kudos to both because that is amazing. And that what you said is right. When things are done with good intentions, not maliciously, it can highlight things that deserve its attentions and stuff, and things that deserve attention, like you said.
Yeah.
So definitely agree with you on that one. Absolutely. Justin, I'm really curious to know who would you like to work with, actor or writer-wise, that you haven't that you would still like to be able to?
I've always wanted to work with Bill Maher. I like the Bill Maher show on HBO. I think he has the best show in media, right? Because in 1 hour, he starts a show with a 10-minute uh, individual monologue. Then he sits down for a one-on-one interview for like 8 minutes. Then he moderates a one-on-three panel for 10 minutes. Then he has a comedy break for 2 minutes. Then he does another one-on-one interview for like 8 to 10 minutes. Then he goes one-on-four for the final 8 to 10 minutes. And then at the end, he has a comedy break and a closing monologue. Like that's the most dynamic hour you'll spend with anybody without having musical guests and commercials and all those things. And the way he intertwines comedy with, having conversations of substance is something I've always aspired to do. So I'd love to work with him on any level at some point.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you're right. It is a very brilliantly done variety hour. I'm sorry, not show. That does a lot within its hour without, the musical guest. I definitely have to agree with that. He definitely is brilliant in that way. You got to admire the man for doing that much work without, the entertainment part of it. Um, but I guess my final question for you, Justin, what is the best advice you can give young, inspiring writers and directors of today?
The only people that don't make it are the ones who quit. So as long as you don't quit, it's all going to happen for you. The most important thing outside of that is that there is a difference between having a hobby and having a career. So there, you do have to make certain sacrifices at different points in order to move ahead. But you shouldn't feel guilty about making sure that you remember that if you're not getting paid to do this, then you really don't have a job. And it could be something easy to forget in entertainment because every vertical in entertainment basically starts off with people working for free for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Other industries aren't quite that way. Like if you want to go intern at a bank, they'll pay you $10,000 for the summer. It's not that way in anything you do in entertainment. And there can be this, position of like, okay, well, I'll do this for the look. Oh, this person's going to retweet this. Oh, I'll add this to my resume. But as the old saying goes, the things that you say are the things that you get. And don't let yourself fall too far away from, realizing that the work that you're doing, because it's coming from a good place, deserves to be compensated for fairly.
Mm-hmm. I completely, totally agree with that. And I hope, young, inspiring writers and directors watching listening in on Black Talent TV, Look Who's Next, listening in, definitely listen to Justin's words, definitely to it. It sounds like, this man's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, so I definitely listen to that. But I do appreciate, Justin, you giving us your thoughts for today, and I really do appreciate, like I said, the many things you're involved with. The Empire, the Embroidered Forehead, all the different stuff that you're involved with. We definitely appreciate you coming down and sitting and talking with me today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everyone here at Black Talent TV audience, make sure you definitely follow Justin Hunte on Instagram, on Twitter. Make sure you guys keep up with everything. Make sure you guys check out his work. The Empire, the Embroidered Foreheads, the different things that he's involved with, the contents, everything. Make sure you guys check that out, and make sure you guys keep up to date with the many things he will definitely be involved with in the future, because we know we here at Black Talent TV will definitely keep our eye on him and the more things that he's accomplished in the future. So, but I do appreciate Justin for talking with us today. I do appreciate everyone listening in for today. And of course, you guys know I'm your hostess with the most, Miss Simone Jackson. Always here to bring you guys a great episode. Look Who's Next. If you guys ever want to email with us, advertise with us, come down and interview with us, make sure you guys hit us up at info@blacktalentv.com. We're always happy to hear from you guys. But until then, until we hear from you guys, until the next great episode, Look Who's Next, I want to thank Justin one last time, thank our audience one last time. Until then, everyone, my name is Simone Jackson. Until another great episode, Look Who's Next, everyone have a great day. Bye.